It's finally the 50th episode. I thought I was going to have like a face beat, my nails and everything, but I'm just in a space where I'm not like, take me as I am. Oh. Guys, my birthday is in 3 days from now. 2 days from now. And I'm running up my second season for Experience Luchi podcast. We could not drop a merge line this season. So many things we could not accomplish, but most importantly, we said we wanted 50 Tuesday series, and we do have 50 Tuesday series, guys. This is the 50th episode, and is a recap episode, is a manifestation episode, and is giving you the season that was. So when I talk, you get to see highlights, body movements and whatnot. And we're running up season 2, guys. Hi guys, you're welcome to another amazing episode on Experience with Luchi podcast. Season 2 is done and dusted. We are the 50th episode, and this is a recap of the season that was. So what are we talking about today, guys? So for episode 1, first of all, I started with a trailer episode this season where I talked about the theme of the season. We talked about my personal journal, and I don't know if I was able to conquer the team, but one thing I'm sure of is that I was able to build myself. I was able to build people that paid attention. I was able to build myself. I was able to relate my experience with most of the topic I spoke about on the episode. So let's get right into it. For episode 1, we spoke about my authentic self when I said that you should be unashamed of who you are, the unashamedness of oneself, who you are, your identity. Embrace it. Be the queen, be the person that you are, because that is all you have to be. On season 2, I talked about you, yourself. It is okay, your morals, your religion, your value, whatever thing you hold close to your heart, hold them where, hold them tight. For episode 3, we went ahead to talk about the ideology of feminism and the significance of oneself, where I said that your gender should not limit you from who you should be, the aspirations you want to do. And I just went ahead, I went classic with my explanation. And I'm like, it's not even about being a feminist, it's not to speak more about feminism, but it's about you as yourself as a person, what you are, who you are. That was what I was trying to speak on this topic on episode 3. For episode 4, we talked about the concept of forgiveness and reconciliation. It's something that I have adopted because I feel like at the end of the day, you have to protect your mental space. And I said that forgiveness is a must because the Bible even tell us, say we must forgive 70 times, 70 times. 70 times 7, or what the Bible talk here. So forgiveness is a law that you must obey, because we even say in our Lord's Prayer, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So yeah, forgiveness is a commandment that we must obey. But then again, you can forgive somebody, you can love someone from a distance. It does not necessarily mean you guys have to be all friendly and lovey-dovey. You protect your space. If you see the relationship is not working, we don't have to train or brew toxic relationship. We can all be cordial, but we don't all have to be friends. So forgiveness is something I spoke about, and the art of reconciliation, where I said that for you to protect your mental space, it does not necessarily mean you have to reconcile with a person. You can forgive, but from a distance. And I also said that forgiveness is not for you, the person, is for you. See, when I'm really angry at somebody, it just somehow distorts my peace. It just somehow messes with the peace I have. So I will forgive you for my own sake, to have the peace of mind I deserve, because I cannot be harboring hate in my heart because of one human being now. It's not possible. So I went ahead in episode 5 when I defined strength. I spoke about my experience. It's sad that I could no longer share my experience with my dad and his illness and everything. I think that is something I don't want to share for now. But it was just me saying that I was able to beat that point in my life with God. and I came out stronger. And the source is just facing the problem heads on and just coming outside victorious. I spoke about categorizing relationship. Some of us, we don't take those people we supposed to use as acquaintance, we don't turn them to friends. So I talked about showing categorizing relationship, making relationship that stand, building on strategic relationship. I also gave gratitude to my friends. They were really there for me at that point in my life where I was trying to heal from the loss of my dad. And yeah, it was really cool having friends at that point. Regardless, that is not the only time they have been there for me, but I just spoke about being able to categorize your relationship properly, just for you to know what to expect from certain individuals and what not to expect. I went ahead in episode 7 when I said facing what looks like the problem. Sometimes we think this is the problem, but it's really not the problem. Maybe we are focusing our attention on something that is not really the problem. So I advise that we should sort out the problem, and yeah, just do ourselves a service, a good service, and just again building the best version of ourselves. That was like my popular words this season. Be the best version of yourself. We are all about building the best version of ourselves. We went ahead in episode 8 where I had Chiamaka for the first time on this season. We spoke about emotional intelligence, and generally we're just trying to say that everybody at some point in their life is not always going to be at their best behavior, but your ability to understand where the person is coming from, your ability to have that empathy, to try to contain the situation, your ability to just be sensible about situation is what we spoke about on this episode. And episode 9 we spoke about the Unwa Boy story. It was a film I watched on Netflix, Afame Funa, and it just reminded me of the Unwa Boy system we used to have when we were growing up. My dad then used to have like so many boys, so we just talked about that system being a kind of sustainable system that would help Nigeria in the whole as a whole. So it was really a really nice topic, and I had my brother at episode I had my brother in episode 10 where we spoke about vices. Then we had our first 10th episode, a recap episode, and we just talked about things that are like a stamp hold to our growth. We talked about things that are impeding our growth as a person. Went ahead in episode 11 to talk about self-awareness. So when you don't get these things, you will be self-aware to know when you are not doing what you're supposed to do, to know when you are not acting the way you're supposed to act. Basically, episode 12 we spoke about a tribute to my dad, my daddy. My dad I always say is like an integral part in my life, was an integral part in my life, still is. um that was like, I think it was 1 year to his death, and I paid a tribute. I had most of my siblings on that episode. And yeah, it's just for me still saying I miss my daddy so much. He's still a very big part of my life. And I just hope that he is at peace wherever he is. God bless his soul. In episode 13, we spoke about insecurity, and everybody has faced one insecurity at what point in their life they have faced insecurity. So I'm like, hold on to the person you recognize, because everybody deals with insecurity. Sure, you get. Yeah, I went ahead in episode 14. We spoke about family and what it represents. I am someone that is really family oriented. When you meet me, you meet, like, you understand that I love my family. I love to speak about my family. I am very much integrated in my family. And episode 15, we talked about what does your religion have to say. And at the end of the topic, I was able to refine it to what does God have to say. It's a thing of where we want to put religion first before God. We are more scared of our religion. We are more scared of the religion of our religious organization we have now, rather than facing and facing the face. Like, how do I say this? Rather than upholding what God wants us to do as individuals, we are sick. We are insane with doctrines. We are not. We are just more obsessed with doctrines, religious doctrine, than the doctrine that God has given us in the manual, which is the Bible. So it was just me saying that God comes first before religion. God is the whole idea behind religion. So it's God. God is the major focus. Sure, you get what I'm saying? So in episode 16, we talked about my group, my charity group. and it's my birthday in a few days. We have something coming up, and blessed to be a blessing is just something really small I do, just to give back to society, just to be thankful, just to help people the best way I can. And I was glad at the end of last year we were able to like help two university students and nurses students, and one of them that got admission in Ebonyi Polytechnic, we were able to do something meaningful for them. So that was like a really really um great step. That was like a great step in Blessed to Be a Blessing charity group. It's amazing what God is doing, what we are doing, what I and everybody that has been involved with this charity group are doing. Thank you so much. And we hope to do more. I just spoke about that in general, and I also talked about my podcast. I was reevaluating the podcast itself, and I just said that I want to do more of I'm just really calm today. More of gisting rather than lecturing. I don't know if I was able to achieve that, but we went ahead in episode 17 when I spoke about the law of being a receiver. The Bible said it's more blessed to give than to receive, which means there is a blessing that comes with being a receiver. And it was just, it made sense when I had someone at episode 20 where he said that everything that has to do with money can be related to water. We have cash flow, we have cash income, like cash bank. Everything just have to do with what money is not stagnant. So when somebody pour into you, it's expected that you pour into another person. That is just the law of life. That is just the law of being a good receiver. When somebody invests in you, don't allow the person's investments to be a waste. Be able to invest in somebody. That is what sustains the society. We went ahead in episode 18 to encourage people. I said this, and I said this, and I'll keep saying it, that people have tried their absolute best. People have done the best. But sometimes our best is not good enough. Sometimes it's not just feasible. Sometimes we have to go extra mile. So it was just a season to cheer all the hard workers, everybody that has put their best in whatever they are doing. That season was to cheer you up and just like tell you that it's going to be fine. Just keep doing what you're doing, and one day you'll be recognized for what you do, people. So we went ahead in episode 19 and we spoke about the feeling of contentment, and I said that is a feeling that has kept me grounded as a person. I mean, there is competition everywhere, even in your business space, the educational space, there's competition. But when you're contented, it just makes you understand that life is in stages, life is a process, and when it's time, it's time. It's not that you're leaving it to chance. I just learned that recently. Living life to chance is a very careless way to live life. But when you have plans, and you know those plans takes process to become systems. So that is what I was trying to pass across on this episode. I had my second recap episode, episode 20. I had Michael. Michael had a lot to say about previous episodes, and that was one of the, I think that had to be like one of my fun episode. That was one of the episode I enjoyed so much because we had a long conversation. That was the longest episode this season. The conversation was really encouraging. It was quite interactive. So yeah, that was really an amazing episode. We went ahead in episode 21 when we spoke about Love Island, and I just said something that stood out for me in that live Love Island episode, especially Casamo episode, which I spoke about. I tried so much to not speak about Love Island, but it was impossible for me not to because I wanted to pass across the message. And communication is, for me, is being able to communicate to the person. So the person receiving the communication needs to be able to receive the communication properly, and you giving the communication need to communicate properly for a complete communication process. I don't know. I think I'm trying to make this thing really complex, but my point is, communication is a two-way thing. The giver and the receiver have to communicate properly for it to take place, and it was just everything that happened with Mimi and Aya's relationship. It was just a lot, and I spoke about it that period. My relationship with God has improved, and I like to share when I can. I like to talk about God. I like to speak about His supremacy and who He is. So that was what I was trying to do on this episode. Because I have improved with my relationship with God, I am still working on improving with my relationship with God. I am learning God in ways that has not been revealed to me. So that episode was just me saying, regardless of what happens, regardless of who you think you are, regardless of the position you are in life, God is God regardless. In episode 23, we talk about Ibu Amaka. It's just an experience of me, Luchi Gloria. Mm, I am not one to, I have not been one that expressed herself in her dialect. I wish I could, and it's something that is one of the things I am working on. I just want to be able to express myself in Igbo language, and this episode was just telling my experience as a young girl from Anambra State who goes to her hometown and is not able to communicate properly, and as a result I am like facing people like not being nice. People are just like mugging off the situation, and it's not a nice feeling. So I just spoke to myself on that episode. I'm like, okay, we're going to learn this language and we're still learning it. And we went ahead in episode 24. We spoke about ignorance. We spoke about people not being able to account for the fact that sometimes lack of awareness can be a crime. Ignorance itself is a crime. For me, certain moments in my life where I have been ignorant about certain things, I wish I was aware of situations. And I just spoke about us recognizing the lack of awareness in certain areas and working on it. And when you offend someone out of ignorance, it should not be a ground of, oh, I don't know now. You should apologize. Life is just a process, like I will always say. We are learning, unlearning, and relearning. So that was my point on the episode. Went ahead in episode 25. We spoke about the baby mama and baby daddy saga. I had Chichi for the second time on my podcast, but this time around we were in the studio and we were just trying to talk about the structure of family that is approved by God, not what we have now. Not everybody, like our generation C, like we call ourselves. Everybody's just accepting many things, and we are not in the space to judge. We are just like living life the way we want to, and there is no space for, like, how do I say this, everybody's just doing what they want to do, and that is not how God give us a manual. We're not judging, but there is a right or wrong situation. Do you get? So we went ahead in episode 26 when we spoke about body positivity, and I this episode was really, it was really a reflection of my personality. I am someone that I don't like doing too much. I am a behind the scene person. I always say this when I get the chance. But I think this year one of my resolution is that when the spotlight comes, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to accept it. Because guess what? You can't hide. A star cannot be hidden for too long. So yeah. So body positivity was just me saying that we have beautiful bodies, and what you wear, how you address yourself would enhance your features as a person. Should get. So went ahead in same in that body positivity. We're talking about the presentation of your body, how you present yourself is what enhances your characteristics as a person. It also shows a reflection of your personality, who you are as a person. How you address is how people will address you. It's one word that is true. So I was just trying to like pick my thought on body positivity, coming out looking decent, looking beautiful at the same time, being comfortable in what you wear. And went ahead and to speak about consistency in episode 27. Guys, you know, I went to that woman's store recently, the story I told you guys in this episode, on this episode, and she has expanded beyond what mouth can be able to understand. I don't know if I put that right, but my point is consistency takes you to a path that you cannot even recognize. But the fact that you have always showed up and showed out is going to make you stand out. So consistency was what we spoke about on this episode, and it's something that I have also included in my resolution. And it's like integrating it in the system, because consistency is something that we have to learn, we have to adopt, we have to understand that for you to be a master in your field, you have to always show up. So we went ahead in 28 where I spoke about episode 28 when I spoke about weird behaviors. Sometimes we are the weapon fashion against ourselves. I gave a story about a man that my mom helped, and we enabled him, but he could not keep up with the enablement. he was so like, I don't want to sound light about, I don't want to sound like heavy about it, but I'm just saying that we he was so ignorant to understand that he was the weapon fashioned against his own success. His carelessness to details, his disrespect to people, his inconsiderate, like a lot of bad, weird behaviors. And you think you are playing on someone's intelligent. So that was just my point on that topic. That was just my thought process on that topic. Went ahead in episode 29 where we spoke about communication deficiency. I, for one, have been someone that overshared. I over communicate. Sometimes it becomes a problem in relationship. And I went ahead to speak about people that do not even have the capacity to communicate in their relationship. So, like, communication deficiency is just for us to understand the thorough process of communication and being able to convey the message so that even the person giving the message and the person receiving the message understands the process going on. So went ahead in episode 30, my 10th episode, and we gave a recap of previous episodes. In episode 31, we spoke about jealousy. For me, I always say this, that jealousy is something that looks like a push. Even the God that we serve is a jealous God. Do you get what I'm saying? So jealousy is not in 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 its whole existence a bad behavior or a bad feeling, but when you feed on it the wrong way, it's like a stupid decision. Because jealousy, I keep saying it, your jealousy is not going to stop who is going to be great from being great. Your jealousy is not going to stop who is going to be richer than you to stop being richer than you. Your jealousy is not going to crumble kings, it's not going to crumble queens. So channel your jealousy in the right proportion. It's going to push you to positivity. Don't push your jealousy to negativity. Like, embrace that feeling of, oh, I'm not doing enough, I can do better. Let it end there. Let it always be about your competition with yourself, about you becoming the best person, you having the best value, you instilling in yourself the best of the best. Investment in yourself is going to create you oceans of wealth. So channel that feeling to the right place. So we went ahead in episode 32, we talk about failure. Failure not things where they occur. Failure is something that is always going to happen. But the Bible said that the righteous man is going to fall and is going to rise. I thought I was going to like remember the scripture, but it's in the book of Proverbs. It said they will fall, the righteous will fall, but they will rise. They will fall 7 times and they will rise. So failure is something that is part of a success story. So don't be scared of failure, because if you don't fail, how do you know you can do better in the next stage? Food for thought. So we went ahead in episode 33 where we said pain is felt. And again, I shared my experience with losing my daddy. God bless his soul. And my friend, I said that probably if I had not if I had not been in the situation I had lost a loved one, probably I would not be there for her like I was. And even though I have experienced it, I don't think it's the same feeling. Everybody just deal with their pain differently. Everybody is like entitled to their own feeling, to their own interpretation of their feelings. You cannot tell people when to move on. You cannot tell them when not to move on. But most importantly, my point is people should stop being insensitive to people's pain. Don't say too much when you don't understand. I mean, don't say too much because you're not the one in the situation. You are not the one that is wearing the shoe. It's only the person wearing the shoe that knows how it's going to fit. Sure, you get. So went ahead in episode 34. We talk about grace, and I, for one, can attest to God's greatness in my life. I am a living witness. God, this song that he said, he held me in his hand and he has placed me that my foot will not be dashed against the stone. So grace has been my story. Sometimes I don't have to lift a finger. God is just patting the ways for me. I spoke about foolish and wrong behaviors, right and right behavior. I don't know what I was trying to differentiate on this episode 35, but I think I was able to make a point that some foolish behaviors is not even about the person knowing if he or she is wrong. It's just lack of awareness, and some people are quite aware of their wrong behaviors. I was just trying to differentiate the awareness and unawareness of behaviors or decision. So I went ahead in episode 36 when I spoke about respect, and I said respect is earned, is not forced. And your behavior, your trait as a person, how you carry yourself as an individual, your sense of personhood is those things that contributes to being respected. I am an advocate of respect everybody, but you should know when you're like you should know when to stop. You should know the boundaries set by people. Understand boundaries. You cannot intrude in people's boundaries and you feel like it's okay. Respect is something that is a direct response to like good behavior. It's a direct response to when I say good behavior, I think I'm concluding because people are really nice people, but people do not respect them. But I'm saying that respect is something that you can work on, both getting, both receiving and giving. Does that make sense? Episode 38, episode 37, I spoke about the power of impact is a worthy influence. My dad is very much integrated in my life. I always say this. Anyway, I even like when I was starting episode 2, season 2 rather, I thought I was going to speak less about my dad. I could not because that man he is really, really integrated in who I am as a person. Same with my mom. I think my mom gave me the calmer version of myself. Like I try to be a good person. I'm a good person, but I try to be nice, even though I don't want to seem like nice. Like I'm trying to tag myself as being nice, but she made me a better person. My dad made me my dad did a lot for me as an individual, which I'm grateful for. So impact is something that the Bible even made us understand that evil communication corrupt good manners. So you should be careful of what you consume as a person, what you take in, the content, the people you keep around. Don't talk, say no, 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 I will not be influenced. One day, I posted something on my status that attraction, how did the guy put it? Like being in, it said attraction is the greatest form of seduction. It means when you entertainment rather is the greatest form of seduction. When you entertain people you're not supposed to entertain, when you are in groups you're not supposed to be in, it just automatically means that as time goes on, that is the kind of life, that is the kind of lifestyle, that is the kind of person you want to become. So consume content that are aligned with the kind of person you want to become. Consume content that are in the line that are in line with who you want to be as a person. Does that make sense? Okay, went ahead in episode 38. I was an advocate of show up and always show up because you don't know when your blessing will be. You don't know when the turning point would be. So regardless of whether you have content in your oceans of whether you don't have content in the oceans of content, just show up. Be there. Be present. Yeah, in that episode, I'm not getting to talk about, but I just came to encourage myself, and I did have an episode. We went ahead in episode 39 to give thanksgiving to God because God is faithful. I am a living proof. God has been faithful. God is faithful, and He's always going to be faithful in my life. So Thanksgiving was the topic on episode 39. On episode 40, recap episode. On episode 41, we spoke about projection, and it's just us being like, I have forgotten this thing did not have any major impact in my life, and somehow some way you'll be in the same situation and you're just projecting on somebody. So I think it's necessary for us to outlive our past, even though I do not entirely agree that anybody is not a reflection of their past. You are not a reflection of your past, I have to correct that, but your past somehow some way has shaped the future and the present you are living. It just takes God's grace, but life is just that way. The foundation you lay determines the kind of building that is going to be built on that foundation. I don't know if I'm contradicting myself, but the point is, be careful. If you don't know better, it's fine. It's better late than never. So let's make good foundation and understand that mistake can be made and can be corrected and can be improved on. That was the purpose of this topic. You don't have to project. You can be the better version of who you were a few years back. It's all about growth and development, guys. So we went ahead in episode 42 where I spoke about be original. You can only be yourself. See, There's something I tell people when I tell myself, and that's what has helped me greatly. You can lie to everybody, but you can never lie to yourself. Do you get? So always stay true to yourself. That is the only thing you can do for yourself as a person. Trying to live someone else's life is a dangerous part. I mean, do what you can do as yourself, and that's where you don't have any regrets. But trying to live someone else's life is going to be a difficult task because the regret that comes with it, baby. So we went ahead in episode 43 when we talked about our mouth. Guard your mouth with all diligence, because out of it is the issues of your faith. That is what the Bible made us to understand. We talked about a forward mouth. We talked about forward mouth. What was it again? Oh, I've forgotten. We spoke about a forward mouth, and just your mouth is the temple of God. So be careful what comes out. Use your mouth to bless. Use your mouth to manifest great things for yourself. Don't speak because you are well spoken. Yes, we know you are well spoken, but baby, control your mouth, control your emotion. Let's try to do that more often this year. And let's build with our mouth. Let's not destroy. There's this flex of when you were an adolescent. People call it useful exuberance. You try to tear somebody down with your mouth just to feel good about yourself. Let's build more people with our mouth this year. Let's bless more people with our mouth this year. Went ahead in episode 44. We spoke about my Deuteronomy. Sorry, episode 44. We spoke about our selfish nature, where I shared my meditation for that morning with everybody that was listening. Jeremiah 17 verse 9. The Bible said that men are the hearts of men are desperately wicked. And I asked myself, how did Jeremiah come to the conclusion? Through God's inspiration. And not true. A lot of us most times we are an advocate of those words that say the end justifies the means. As long as our interest is well protected, a lot of us do not care. We're trying to build ourselves in the image of God and to be like God, to manifest God's presence and who God is through our lives. So my advice through this topic was me saying, let's embrace the Bible. Let's understand the Bible. It's going to help us. No man can be perfect because only God is perfect, but it's going to help us curb that selfish nature. Let's not be what they say we are. Let's try to improve. It's all about being the better version of ourselves, like I always say. Okay, in episode 46, we talked about mindset. I have my sister on this episode. Garbage in, garbage out. Same thing I spoke about in impact, rather. What you take in is what you ditch out. You cannot offer what you do not have. She'll get. Yeah. We went ahead in episode 47. Sorry, episode 46. Episode 46. We spoke about plans. Again, from the scripture, the Bible said in Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not in your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he's going to direct your step. The Bible also said in Proverbs, I don't forget scriptures, but he said, include God in your plans, and your plans will be established. So this year, let us try to include God. God is a God of process. In process, there is plans. In those plans, your plans is what is going to create the system that sustains your person, that sustains your, I don't know how to put it, but the point is, let God lead. The word is to see. I saw something really sad online today. I don't like being the bearer of bad news, but I know that the word is too big for you to navigate by yourself. There has to be a supernatural interpretation to what is going on in this world. So for those of us that believe in God, for those of us that believe that we cannot navigate life by ourselves, we need the holy God of Israel to do that for us. Let's let him lead. God is driving the motor. God is driving the car. Don't be like, oh, I know where I'm going. Don't worry, Father. I know where I'm going. When I get there, I'm going to inform you about it. Inform before you take a step. Inform before you start taking that journey. Inform before you start that journey, rather. That is what I was trying to do on that episode 46. On episode 47, we spoke about the new year, the new season. I am not really like AWS season 2. I'm missing this couch. I'm missing everything about this project. But it was just me saying that we have new goals. And I'm always that person that believes that when one phase comes to an end in my life, it gives rooms for greater and better things. So when I'm running up this season, I know that it's for a greater part. I know it's for a greater season. So if season 2 is not done, how do we have season 3? So that was just it. And we went ahead to speak about the little things. I had Chiamaka on this episode. And it's just all about appreciating those things that make you who you are. You're coming from somewhere. It's been a long time coming. And you as a person, you know what your roots are. Time spent with family, appreciate time spent with friends, because it's only the moments that count. Life is so fickle that you don't know when your last moments would be. So appreciate those moments. Be thankful, be grateful. And that is why we had the next episode. Appreciate the past, the present, and the future. It's been a long time coming, guys. We've had a lot of things to say on Experience with Luchi podcast season 2. And a lot of things I could not achieve, but greater things I was able to do this season. I mean, we got our studio, we got our couch, we got like guests, and more improvement for EWL season 3. I bless this podcast. I pray that when we come for season 3, there is growth, there is development, there is more inclusion of collaboration and sponsorship. God bless everybody that has been a great part of this project. For my friends, for my family, my friends and my family have shown me that God put people in your life for certain reason. But most importantly, I'm just going to say this. My mom and my brother, Gochku took it upon himself to design my studio. He renovated the area. This used to be my dad's office, and he took it upon himself to do something great with the space. I'm grateful. I hope you get to see this. My mom has been like a greatest partner. She has been the greatest partner of my life. And when I pray to God for a partner, my birthday is in few days, and I pray to God that when He blesses me with my person, the person should be a partner God has sent to me. My mom understands my dream. Even when I'm uncertain about many, many things, she understands it. Like, this girl is a girl with ambition and dream. And I'm going to support her in any way I can. So thank you, Mommy. Thank you so much. My friends, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. God bless you so much. For everybody that has encouraged me on this path, I am grateful. And I don't know. I think the only advice I want to drop as I draw the curtain here is there's just something about having that relationship with God. There's just something about including Him in every step you take. Let's do that together this year. And when we come back for season 3, all of us, we have testimonies. Include God and leave everything in His hands. When you have a problem, keep God by your side and see who is greater. Obviously, we know the answer to this question. So, guys, as I draw the curtain on this season, I have to reintroduce myself for those of you that don't know me. This is the 100th episode on Experience with Luchi. We had 50 episodes for season 2. Season 2, yes. We had 50 episodes for season 1. Okay, guys, on that note, please keep streaming. If you come across this podcast, all my podcasts, all the seasons, all the episodes are streaming on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. It's also available on all podcast streaming platforms. I don't know what God have in stock for us as we close this chapter, but I know it's greater things. So I bless again Experience Luchi as a brand. I don't know if we're coming rebranding on anything, but as the spirit leads, as God leads, God is taking the step and we are following. Thank you so much to my audience. Thank you so much to everybody. I love you guys. Don't forget to follow me across all social media platforms at Oluchimitize on Instagram, on Facebook, on S formerly Twitter. We also have a podcast page, EW_podcast. Yeah, guys. Please on your notification for Luchi's concept. God is doing amazing things. And I'm grateful. Thank you so much. I'm writing up this episode. This season has been an amazing one. I don't know if I'm going to have a bonus episode. I said I want to try having a bonus episode, but let's see. Just keep your notification on. I love you guys. Have an amazing year. Until we see you again for the season 3. Bye. Bye.